All right, so you guys, we are going live with questions asked number 84. Welcome, welcome, welcome. The question at the top of the key tonight: can BPOs help me get REO listings? Can BPOs help me get REO listings? So you guys know the drill. If you are visiting us here on Facebook for the first time, go ahead and like the page. For those of you who are watching on YouTube, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. If you are visiting us after the fact, guys, go ahead and hashtag replay. And if you have any comments while we are live, please put your comments in the comment area. For those of you who are brand new to Broker Price Opinions, drop a 1 in the comment area so we'll know who you are. And if you're brand new to real estate, go ahead and drop a 1 in the comment area as well. For those of you who don't know me, I am Angela Cooper. I am a business coach. I help real estate agents increase their income while waiting on buyers and sellers to close. I do that in many ways, but one of the ways that we do that, guys, is through Broker Price Opinions. And that's what we're going to talk about tonight, Broker Price Opinions. Okay? All right, so the question at the top of the key tonight: can BPOs help me to get REO listings? All right, now I've had that question several times since the last time we spoke. And I'm going to probably say that's because I have a lot of new people in the BPO Mastery course, okay? And a lot of new people in the group as well. Hello, Miss Martin Tanks. I think you're one of the new people in the group. BPOs are good for you to know how to do them once you get the REO listing, because they might send you out there to do a BPO on that listing. However, in order to become an REO agent, and you're just listing REOs, real estate owned, okay, bank owned properties, it's real important that you attend as many real estate conferences as you can, and you have to network into that market, okay? Just doing BPOs is not going to get you real estate listings. And in fact, or REO listings. In fact, they will even tell you when you're doing a BPO not to solicit the homeowner for a listing, okay? So networking is really gonna get you in the door to capturing or landing REO listings. If you know someone that work at a bank, Chase Bank, Bank of America know me like the back of my hand, okay? I've been with Bank of America for 20 years. If I wanted an REO listing from Bank of America, I would just simply go up there and talk to the bank manager and say, hey, listen, girl, I need some REO listings. What do y'all have on the books for real estate owned that you're trying to get rid of? You see? And also for those of you who are connected, well connected with your lenders, when you send your new buyers to get pre-qualified, who is the lender there? Okay, so those are good people to connect with as well, because the mortgage company that's going to be approving their loan, they probably got some REO listings on their books, okay? So you can definitely network your way into REO listings, but not necessarily just straight up from doing Broker Price Opinions. That's not going to get you in the door, okay? But it's definitely going to help you if you should get a REO listing. That knowledge of doing that BPO is really going to take you a long ways, because believe it or not, I have real estate friends and broker friends that get REO listings and they will call me to do their BPO for them. Okay. Sometimes they're new to the game of REOs, but they're also new to the game of doing broker price opinions. They don't have a clue what that is, okay? Because they're listing agents most of the time. They're buyers agents. They're selling real estate. They're not doing a lot of on the side hustles that we do here with broker price opinions, okay? Question number 2. This is about condo versus townhome. So the question is, if the land use says condo, do I classify my subject as a condo or a townhouse? Okay? So you guys are gonna get this, and for those of you who saw the posting that I put with the questions in there, I put in the parentheses, see the building type, because the actual building type itself, there, if you're looking at the tax record, and I know it is with Realtors, okay? If I'm looking at the tax record, at the top of the tax record in the characteristics, okay, it says condo, land use, condo. But if you come on down in the tax record, it'll say building type, townhouse. So now you have to rate your subject as a townhouse. You cannot classify your subject as a condo just because the land use is used, it has condo for the land use, okay? Now, there are some subdivisions here in Texas, and I'm pretty sure it happens in different places all across the U.S. We have some single family residence properties that's built on land use that says condos. But the building type is a single family residence or a townhouse, okay? If it's a single family residence, it's more than likely gonna be detached. Sometimes we get attached now that they're building these 4-story lofts and 3-story lofts. Sometimes they come attached and they are classified or rated as a single family attached, or it might even be rated as a townhouse, okay? But the land use says condo for the land use. That's because when the county rated the land, they rated it for condo use. But that doesn't necessarily mean you have to use it for a condo. You see? Also, you run into that sometimes in the rural area. It'll say land use mobile homes. But that's not saying that you can't put a single family dwelling on that property. You just have to come down and look at the building type and make sure that you're dealing with a single family residence, or are you dealing with a mobile home? You see? So the land use and the building type could be totally different. You have to follow the building type in order to know how to classify your subject. Because if you're in a rural area and you just accidentally see that your land use say mobile home, and you accidentally start pulling properties that are manufactured properties or mobile homes, you're gonna find yourself redoing that entire BPO over, because the property is actually a single family dwelling property, okay? That's real important. You can make that mistake once, but you will probably never make that mistake twice. I've made that mistake before, because a lot of times I'll do my BPOs before I even go out and look at the property. I have across the board, all of my properties are gonna be average. But if I get out there and I see that it's a brand new build, when I get back, then I'm gonna change brand new build, and I'm probably gonna have to change a couple of my comps to meet the subject property. You see? But it's very easy to do. That's why when I go out to a rural property and I haven't been out there, but I'm doing my BPO first, I always do a Google map to see exactly what kind of structure is there. Because if I'm doing my BPO based on a single family residence and it's a mobile home out there, well, I'm going to be in trouble when I get back because I'm going to have to redo all of that. You see? So let's go to question number 3, guys. Before we go to question number 3, for those of you who are brand new to the Facebook page, go ahead and like the page. If you're watching us from YouTube, guys, go ahead and smash that subscribe button. I'm always looking for new subscribers, and make sure you share the information with your other real estate friends because I'm looking for new subscribers over there on YouTube. I think I probably have about, 10,000 subscribers or 9,000 on Facebook page, but YouTube is really what I'm trying to do, is grow that channel. And I do come to YouTube every couple of weeks and redo the video and upload it to YouTube. For those of you who are watching after the fact, hashtag replay. And if you're brand new to Broker Price Opinions, or you're new to real estate and you're not in the Facebook group, go ahead and drop a 1 in the comment area. We have a free Broker Price Opinion webinar just for you. All right. So question number 3. How do I assess the value of a lakefront property versus with a lakefront versus a lake view? And what about the property that the subject is not even on the lake? How do I do adjustments for that? So that's a really good question, guys. And that's more like a mastery question. What you have to do, this is just what I do. Everybody have their own way of, thinking out. And no two people are going to think the same when they're doing a broker price opinion. That's why they say it's an opinion of value. It's your opinion. Okay, but this over here is my opinion. So listen, on this particular question, what I normally do is, if my subject does not have a lake, but I have comps that have a lakefront or a lake view, I always go and highlight each one of those comps and see, what is the difference in that Lakeview property versus the non-Lakeview property? How much money? What is the difference in the money? Is it $5,000? Is it $10,000? What is it, 7? I go back and look at all of the Lakeview properties and I add them up, and then I see, well, I have 3 Lakeview properties that's selling for about, $5,000 or $6,000 more than the properties that are within a mile, but they're not on the lake. Okay? So at that point, you just give it a value. The most important thing is whether you choose $5,000 or $10,000. You might give your lakefront $8,000 in value, but you might give your lake view $6,000 in value. So now every time you come to a comp that is a lake view, you got to give it $6,000, whether it's a plus or a minus. And then every time you get to a comp that's a lakefront, you have to give it a plus or a minus $8,000. Whatever your number is, your number could be 2,000. It could be 3,000, it could be 8,000. It doesn't matter. You just have to be consistent with your adjustments, okay? Now, if you're in a, highly gated community with beautiful custom homes, or, you're in Florida somewhere on the beachfront and have $1 million beach house, okay, then the beachfront property probably gonna be a little bit more expensive than, maybe a canal property or the property across the street. The front and the view is always going to be a little bit more expensive than your regular lot. The number, they wanted to know, but how do you come up with a number for it? Just look at some of your other sold properties that sold with a beachfront or a lakefront or canal view, whatever, and just give it an estimate. Remember, you're doing an estimate of value. So some of the stuff that you're, really trying to dig in and find numbers for can really just come out of your head, okay? Keep that in mind too, because a lot of people spend a lot of time trying to figure out, but I don't see this anywhere. It's not in the tax record. It's not in. That's because you need to know your property. You need to know your area. You need to know, your subdivisions. If you know, just go ahead and use what you know and stop trying to find concrete numbers. You see? I know some of you guys are overthinking the BPO. That's why you spend so many hours on it. Okay? And you don't want to do that. Use what you know. Like I tell people all the time, I have certain subdivisions around me that I know for a fact 80% of them are all rented because the builder built the subdivision to use it as a rental property subdivision. It's not for home ownership. Some of the properties in there are owned by homeowners before he bought up the land, but maybe 20% is home owned. The rest is all rented, you see? So it just comes from knowing, your area, your subdivisions, things of that nature. All right, do we have any questions out there live before I go to the next questions? How do you come up with the assets value of the lakefront versus the Lakeview? Just find out what the other properties are selling for and give it an average. It doesn't always have to be exact, okay? The adjustments have to be exact, but your number can be whatever you want it to be, okay? All right, so question number 4. What if I cannot find a comp to support my after repair value? So I did $20,000 worth of repairs. Now, all of the comps that I have that are sold, my value is coming in almost $15,000 more than all of the comps that are in the sold. You can't do that, okay? You don't want to upset your quality control person because now it looks like you didn't really know what you was doing. If you have an after repair value of $200,000, it should be a comp that was repaired or upgraded or something that came in at $200,000, $210,000, $220,000, something, okay? You can't say your highest adjusted sold comp is $190,000, but your after repair value on your subject is $240,000. That ain't gonna fly. Okay? You need to remember, I tell you guys all the time, especially those of you in BPO Mastery. When you're doing adjustments, it's all in your adjustment module. You have to have at least one comp as is that looks like your subject look today. And if your subject need repairs, you got to have one comp that looks like your subject will look, okay, once it's repaired. So that's 1 and 1. The one in the middle don't even matter. You see? But you got to have one that looks like your subject look today. And if you have $15,000 or $20,000 worth of repairs, you got to have one that looks like your subject is going to look after it's repaired. You see? Same thing with your list comps. You want to have at least one list comp that looks like your subject look today and one list comp that looks like your subject after it's repaired. Now, before you submit, this is a little tricky. If you catch that complication, problem, analysis, before you submit your order, you can go back and do your adjustments on your repairs. Maybe, if you did a full out how do you say, upgraded kitchen, and you gave it $10,000, maybe you can knock a couple thousand off and give it an $8,000 upgrade pricing. You see, after repair pricing. You see? And that $2,000 might save you from having to go find a new comp, a replacement comp, okay? You know, if you haven't submitted it yet, you can look at your repairs and kind of maybe knock some off here and there and come up with a number that's gonna be within your adjusted sold comps. But you still gotta have that one comp that has been updated as well, that is gonna look sort of like your subject when it's after it's repaired. You see? But once you send that report in and hit that submit button, it's probably gonna get red flagged, and then you shouldn't do anything with the adjustments then, because if you said it needed $20,000 in the bathrooms, they're gonna say, well, why are you changing your mind now? Because you just want to fit it to meet your comps? No, I need you to go find a new comp that's gonna match that pricing. You see? Now you can maybe replace a lesser priced comp, maybe one of your lower priced comps, and give your as is value a lower value, keep your repairs, and then have your after repair value, still keep your repairs. Your after repair value will come down, but you still have to replace that one comp. You see? Raquel Thomas. Hi, Raquel. Okay, she says, should property sold for agreed price over list do multiple bids rather than the current fair market value be used? Company asked me to use 3 comps for 8 months rather than current lower price comps. That just depends. I'm guessing it depends on the condition of your subject and the condition of the comps that you're using, whether or not you're gonna use the ones that were sold in the last 30 to 90 days versus the ones that were sold 8 months ago. I would base all of that off of my condition. Even though I know that we're getting these crazy high, priced buyers. You list a house, you know the house is only worth $200,000, but your buyers is coming in and they paying $220,000. You got to go with that $220,000. That's the market. That's the fair market value, because real estate is priced, and the market of real estate is based on what somebody will actually pay for the property. If they're all paying $20,000 more, you got to go with that. That is your fair market value. I don't care what we know it to be, 8 months ago, you got to go with the high price. And then also the same thing is that, but now I see if you reverse it, if within the last 30 to 60 days, the pricing is coming down, and one of those comps where the price is lower is very similar to my subject and is equal to my subject in condition and overall characteristics, I'm not going back 8 months and pick up the high price. Yeah, they'll have to argue with me all day about that one. I'm not doing that. I'm not sure which one you're saying. It looks like you're asking the second one. If the prices have come down lower and now your pricing, your subject looks just like one of, or two, or three for that matter. You might have 3 sold comps that they're all lower, and your subject condition and characteristics fit within that bracket, and they still want you to go back and pick up a higher price based on something that happened 8 months ago, you do not have to do that. You can literally tell them that you're not going to do it. You stand by your price, but they're more than welcome to get a licensed appraiser to come out and appraise the value. because I can almost promise you that appraiser is going to pick up the latest sold comps, 30, 60 days, 90 days. He's not going to go back 8 months because they looking for a higher price. You see? Did I answer your question, Raquel? Raquel, let me hear from you. Does that make sense? If you only have one comp, just say you have 2 comps and they're lower. Okay, you have 2 comps and they're lower, but the third comp is higher, but it's not the most similar in characteristics to your subject, and you have to go back and get one, you find one 8 months ago, it's higher too, yeah, then I might give it a higher price. I might not give it that highest price that was 8 months ago. I'm still going to try to keep it at probably a medium between what these lower comps is selling for today. You see? Because one thing is for sure, they're going to have to get with the program when these prices start coming back down to reality where they're supposed to be. And that's where we're going to come in. I had one like that yesterday, honestly. You know, I could have given it a $260,000 value, but because I had 2 comps that had just sold within the last 30 days that's in a $240,000 bracket, I was able to give it a price of $245 or something like that. I didn't give it nowhere near the $260,000 comp. And I had listings that were listed for $260 and $280, you know, in the same subdivision. I don't care what it's listed for. I care about what it's sold for. You know, what are the sale comps, the sold comps saying? Because your value is based off the sold comps. I didn't even go into trying to explain why that person, we gonna say that person, had his house listed for $285,000 when clearly you just saw 2 houses in your subdivision sell for $240. Yes, it was one for $260, but it was kind of older than the $240. Why would you list it for $285? Because you think somebody gonna come and pay that? They might, but until they do, I'm gonna bring my values in with the closed comp values. You see? So you can stand behind your work and your beliefs. You just gotta do a little more, add a little more comments in the comment area as to why you're doing it and why you're coming up with that pricing. You see? Your comments will actually CYA for you if you do them right. Let's see. You got that? Okay, she said yes. I got it. Thank you. All right, guys. Any more questions? Any more questions before we close out? We're going to get ready to close out. Questions asked number 84. Yeah, the values are going to... We, the BPO agents, we're going to play a big role in these prices coming down if we do our job right, because they're gonna come down. And when they start asking us for these BPOs, mine was on, the reason they wanted a BPO on this particular property because it was being sold by Open Door or bought by Open Door or something like that, one of those companies. And, you know, the market in that area, I gave it the lower price. Okay? So we're gonna play a big role in making sure that these fair market values are going back to normal when they really start going back to normal. But if they're not going back to normal in that area, it's nothing we can do about it. We just have to, you know, give it whatever the sale market is driving. If it's driving the higher number, we got to give it the higher number. But if it's driving the lower number and it's coming down, then you can give it the lower number. Just got to explain. But we can do that. We're very good at that. All right, guys. So if you all don't have any more questions, I'm going to close it out. If you guys have some questions after the fact, go ahead, #replay. Ask your questions and I'll get your questions answered for you. Hopefully, if I see them within 24 hours. Sometimes I don't see the questions because some of you guys will send me a messenger link and we're not friends, so I can't see them right away. But when I do see them, I always come back and try to answer them for you timely. Okay? All right, you guys have a great week. Let's go get this money. And I will see you guys on the next one. Bye now.